Ba-da-ba-da-bum-bum. Hey, happy anniversary to me, the real Manos. That's right. I just realized the other day that May 4th is not just simply Star Wars Day. It's also the anniversary of my first video here on YouTube. And first video I did was back in 2008 on May 4th. That's right. I was reviewing, and I talked about the preview. We had a sneak peek of the Watchmen film that hadn't come out yet. I think that was the next year, and I had the bright idea of shooting it in a park. And I'm sure I don't know if you remember this, but my idea was to always shoot it on location somewhere.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
we very quickly killed that idea.
Yeah, too much background noise.
It was a bad idea. Because I really thought, like, hey, okay, I'll shoot it in the park here, or a coffee shop here, or somewhere else here, and it'll be always kind of fun and cool. And that was a bad idea. And I'm glad you talked me out of doing that. Well, hi, I'm the real Manos. Hey, Marion, how you doing? Welcome to the show. It just started. I am, as always, the real Manos, and this is my lovely wife and co-host, Lindsay.
Hello.
And I just decided to just sit down with you and thank you. Maybe chat a little bit, maybe do some Q&A, react to some things that are currently going on. I know news in geek culture is a little slim right now. Let's see. Thanks, Mount Vernon Kid. Thanks, Marion. Happy anniversary. So I thought I'd also just chat a little bit. Let me share this video first for some of my friends out on the Twitterverse. If they're not too busy doing some kind of like bullshit hashtag. Like I noticed there's a Tom Holland is over party or something like that on Twitter. And I'm beginning to get convinced that these are PR agents. Because every time you look at one of these things, it's always like constant streams of people going, why are people saying he's over? I love this person. Over and over again. I haven't seen any like real consensus on, yeah, they suck. Nope. Yeah, call me suspicious. I think there's a huge, clever PR firm out there going, you know what? No one's talking about Tom Holland right now. Let's declare him over and see people rush to his defense. I don't know. Maybe that's too conspiracy minded or something like that. But and you can never find out why they're supposed to be over or something like that. Because usually when you look at some kind of hashtag, live show, usually there's a clear reason. It says immediately like, oh, hey, Roseanne said this incredibly racist thing, and then you go, oh, okay, well, I can see what people are bad. Her, showing herself in such a gross method. Let's see, share on a page. Share on a page, manage. Come on, there you go. This is always the most boring part of any live show is sharing this stuff. Live show now. Okay. And I hope you enjoy the amazing thumbnail I made for this video. I made it in like maybe 2 seconds.
It's beautiful.
I love it. I'll die on this hill that it's awesome. So yeah, I did my first video talking about the first Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man film, and I haven't really done too much like Iron Man stuff on the channel. I feel like I've done just basically 3 reviews, of the first 3 films. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to my 12th anniversary live, maybe Q&A if someone shows up special. So I'm just talking a little bit here. Let's see. Mount Vernon Kid says it's the same as everyone. Always talking about the over party thing. Let's see, like Chadwick Boseman is done as Black Panther. Yeah, I know, it's like, whatever. I'm not fooled. Let's see. Let's take a look at my first video here. I'm going to go to my channel here. And we're going to do a little bit of a little walk down memory lane here. Iron Man. I have literally, I think, 3-4 videos about Iron Man on this channel. I've never been the biggest one. But yeah, this is me 12 years ago talking about Iron Man and myself and introducing myself here. Now, what I'm wanting to do for a while now. Like this guy. Look at him. Reviews of movies and comic books and there's like there's also books and TV shows. I'm also supremely liberal, so I don't know. I may want to do one every once in a while. I never did. I was going to talk about geeky stuff and politics, but I decided just to talk about geeky stuff. I do talk about politics in how it relates to geeky stuff, but that's kind of all I never did like a full-on like video about this stuff. Well, there's 2008 me. Oh, I forget, I wore this gray shirt. And I thought, wow, this is great. I'm going to hold up a magazine. I'm so good at being... So yeah, I like the movie. 2008 Manos, you must listen to me. This is 2020 Manos. You must stop Donald Trump. Just call him up in 2015 with a Russian accent and tell him not to run, and you'll give him money. He'll believe you. Persuade Zack Snyder to not make BBS. Do it. I don't think he's listening. Oh no, I said fuck. Let's see, let me go back here. All right. Don't worry, I'm not gonna watch the whole video. So hi, how's everyone doing during this quarantine? And I'm fine, I'm great. I mean, good Lord. I mean, I'm not feeling feelings of dread and depression every single day, and it's a fight to get up and it's a fight to fall asleep. I mean, none of that stuff happens. I've been very productive. Let's see. So there's been some things. I have been trying to be productive during this time, staying positive. Yeah, me too. I think I've briefly mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. I am working with the terrific YouTube channel Geeks for Fun, and they are doing the Dragon Ball GT, excuse me, the Dragon Ball DC series of videos, and I'm occasionally doing some voice work on that. Hey, Bizarro Critic, how you doing? He says, happy 12th anniversary. Actually saw you first on Dupaloop's comic news show and has enjoyed your work ever since. Oh, thank you so much. I really miss doing that show. And I've contemplated over and over again of recreating it, but I haven't really found the right way to do it yet. But I am thinking about bringing that back. The Weekly Manos thing was the closest I got to doing that. But what was I saying? I was saying, oh yeah. What was I saying? I completely forgot what I was in the middle of.
I don't know. You go off on tangents and I don't pay attention.
Oh yeah. Geeks for Fun. I'm doing some voice work on Geeks for Fun, and I have been playing some random characters here and there on the channel with their Dragon Ball DC radio series, which is really cool. And my favorite character so far is playing Perry White. I'm enjoying that a lot. I did play Jonathan Kent as well, and I'll probably randomly play some other characters here and there. I've really enjoyed playing Perry White because it gave me the chance to do the transatlantic accent, which I really enjoy. By the way, everyone should talk like that all the time. It's really funny. Let's see, Bizarro Critic says, I get tempted to say vague Marvel teaser when I see one. And, you know, maybe I should start doing that again on the channel. Like when a vague Marvel teaser comes up, I can specifically do that for you guys because I miss doing it. Let's see. Does this mean we have to stop calling you Chief? Yes, you have to start, then stop calling me Chief. But yeah, I didn't really get any direction for playing Perry White on the channel, but they come, Superman comes out of the 30s and 40s, which that was a really popular method of talking. Like His Girl Friday, for instance, is a great example of that. And let's see, I think it's Gray who plays Lois Lane on DC Superhero Girls. She plays Lois with a transatlantic accent, and it's really funny. And I really enjoy listening to her talk in that character. So when I had the chance to play Perry, it's like, I'll do that. I mean, I know no one else is probably doing this type of accent. So it's like, okay, that's a good way to, kind of like, add some diversity to the cast. So yeah, I've been doing that, and I am writing for the Echoes of the Night Batman radio drama they're going to be doing later this year. And I've written one episode, which I'm really proud of, and I'm planning to write some more for the future seasons. I haven't been assigned any acting parts for it, but I'm sure I will, and I will act the shit out of whatever I get. Excuse me. So let me take a look here. And yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. I wrote a new comic book script, which I'm very happy with. I just did a new kind of Red Knight comic. I put out a free comic book day comic for since free comic book day was ruined, I decided to put out a free comic book day on myself, and it was very last minute. I put some stuff together, short story from Red Knight and a preview of issue 4. And I'm doing, if you're watching right now, I'm doing a Kickstarter at the end of this month, May 31st or June 1st. Where I'm going to do a Kickstarter for issue 4. So I hope to kind of get that going, because I've been really back and forth on whether or not I was going to do it. Let's see, Bizarre Critic. Blah, 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 blah. Luckily, you get to see Great Caesar's Ghost. I haven't said that yet. I assume I will. So it'd be great, since Goku's in this universe, I'd like to say it like when he like powers up or something like that. That'd be a nice way of mixing old and new. Bizarre Critic. I've always trying to say it, but had hard reason to. Yeah, I mean, yeah. DC actually temporarily, when Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman, became a thing, they inserted the catchphrase from that show. I guess they thought it was updating it, where he would say "Great shades of Elvis." I'm like, it didn't quite catch on. Oh, because he's fat, get it? And yeah, I know.
No.
Did you ever watch that show?
Oh yeah, I like that show.
Do you remember them saying that?
Not really.
Yeah. Great.
It didn't catch on.
It did not catch on. No, it did not. They attempted I saw it inserted into the comics a couple of times. And matter of fact, I saw it in an issue before the show premiered. And I thought, well, that's pretty funny. They're doing a take on his little catchphrase. And he was saying it in the show. I was like, oh, that's why they were doing it. Okay. Let's see. Mount Vernon Kid says, tell Mrs. M I said hello. That's you.
Hello.
Let's see. Where are we here? Comics Kid. Oh, hey, Comics Kid. How you doing? I've been enjoying the videos you've been doing lately. I think the lowest point for me was when Elvis cameoed in an alternate universe where Clark never became Superman. Oh, I missed that one. That was not great, was it? Was it as good as Amelia Earhart showing up on Star Trek Voyager? Because that was also TV gold. So yeah, but that makes. I guess the Flash prevented his mom from being murdered, so Elvis is alive. That's how time travel works. You prevent someone from getting murdered, and then some other people's mom turns into the Joker. That's just science. So, yeah, that happened. Bruce Wayne's mom turns into the Joker in Flashpoint. I know, and his dad turned into Batman, and somehow escaped that reality when it was destroyed, and then became the lead antagonist for the Tom King Batman for like 87 years. So despite the fact that he's like, I don't know, like 60 and a doctor. So I don't know. You put on the suit, he has to do anything. Let's see. Marion McDaniel says, what was your reaction to Catra having a mental breakdown at the end of season 4? That was quite a bit. Even before the really dramatic stuff with her crying and falling to her knees, one of the most devastating things I've seen in the show so far is that scene where she calls Hordak and she's on the view screen, you know, doing standard evil report stuff. And you can see on her face, she is not good. She's trying to fake it, but she is very visibly not happy. And that got me. It's like, oh man, that's not good. Congrats on 12 years from Sid Part 2. Hey, thanks, man. And let's say I hope we can do another 12 years until everything's ruined. But yeah, let's do it. I have enjoyed doing like these videos here. I've been on Duke of Loop's channel. I've been on Sid Part 2's channel, some other channel, and it's been great. I've been really enjoyed, you know, talking to everybody and, you know, getting to know, like, that's one of the things I wanted to do with this channel is, you know, get out there and talk to people and kind of exchange ideas and, you know, tell people where I'm coming from and, you know, vice versa. Cause, you know, I don't know everything. I'm pretty stupid. So, you know, I can learn some stuff. Let's see. Sid Portu says, yeah, haha, 12 years of Earth. I know it's very naive of me to think it'll still be here or country worth of fuck. But hey, let's give it a shot. Let's see. Stumble Reel. This is probably a personal thing for me. Not quite a fan of the sliding joint-based tweening animation and DC superhero girls. Characters' movements aren't very three-dimensional. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a style. I think that's a taste issue. I'm fine with that. It looks like a comic, you know, in life. I'm a big fan of like, you know, 2D animation. So that's not a problem for me. I really enjoy, in case you haven't been watching it or have been thinking about it, or you just kind of like not investigated because it's like a girl toy show or something like that, don't do yourself a favor and check it out. It's very funny. I'd say it's just as funny as the adult themed Harley Quinn show. I think they're both as funny. I think they're both deconstructive of DC comics and superheroes. One just can say the F word and one can't. That's kind of it. The episode where Supergirl decides to etch out her own identity as Power Girl is extremely. It's so funny as far as how it hits like DC alternate reality dimension stuff, because she puts on her costume and says, "Hey, I'm Power Girl. I'm Supergirl from another dimension." And when she's questioned about it, she like makes up on the spot, like from Earth 2. Like it's like the stupidest thing you could think of at the second, with no preparation. And it's like, that made me laugh really bad. Let's see. I got a question here. Marion asks about what episode of Steven Universe Future was hard to watch for you and emotionally. Do you want to think about this one too?
Yeah, let's see.
Give me a second here. Because there's a few, jeez, especially in the second half of the season. Probably just before his breakdown, like when they decide to kind of have that what do you call it, the confrontation of the you know, when people get together and say, hey,
Oh,
what do you call that again?
Intervention.
Intervention. Thank you. They basically have an intervention for him. And like he says, like, you know, I'm not that kid anymore. I'm a fraud. I'm like, oh, just, you know, every time I hear a character say something like that, like that hits home. I do say also the episode where he proposes to Connie, because I knew where we were going. I knew where that episode was going, and they were laid it on thick.
Yeah.
Like they're on the beach where they met. He has several things of the relationship. He starts singing. It's like,
yeah, I knew exactly where that was going.
Yeah,
and the entire time it was tense, and
it was. I mean, Connie behaves 100% correct in that situation, which is amazing, because I thought she was going to be really, you know, like react badly to it. And you know, but you know what that the reality of the situation is, she didn't need to react badly. Just saying no was enough to mess him up.
Yeah, that one was hard to watch just because I knew where it was going. And then the episode in the hospital, because as someone with mental health issues, talking about that, it's hard.
Yeah. That episode, of course, I don't have any like specific mental issues outside of, you know, the occasional average depression, but I mean, I looked at that episode really in awe, because they were approaching topics I've never seen done this way in a kid's cartoon, and I mean, hell, in even more adult cartoons, or shit, I don't know, maybe a lot of like adult live action stuff too, especially superhero stuff. And you know, teen heroes, kid heroes are a thing. And nobody ever, like, people joke about, you know, teen heroes and, you know, Robin and, you know, what they go through and how irresponsible it is. But this one really does kind of lay into the idea of it and what kind of emotional damage you can do. And also, I'm really glad that it talks about the specifics of physical damage leading to mental damage.
Yes.
And the way, like, she explains it was great.
It's like the physical body heals, but you need help for your mental state to heal.
Okay, I think we're back. Let's see. Now we have one person watching. So yeah, I guess we'll probably end here because everyone left because they thought I was done for the night. Oh, good. I got 3 more people watching. So maybe we can bring it back to a full 7. So let's see if we can do that.
Yay!
Let's see. Yes, here we go. Mount Vernon asked me, I'm going to chat a little bit here. Did you watch the latest episode of DuckTales, which was a true homage to Astro Boy? I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I watched the episodes on Sling, and Sling has this weird scheduling where it'll like, okay, the episode premieres on the 1st, and I go, okay, it's going to be on May 32nd. Oh, wait, no, the 30th. Oh, wait, one more day. It's going to be the 31st. I don't know when it shows. And then you just see a bunch like pop up all of a sudden. So I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I hope in the next day. Like, it actually was supposed to be playing today, and then first thing in the morning I was like, okay, good, I'm gonna watch the DuckTales episode, and then no, I have to wait another day. So that's bull. This is bull for all this stuff I could get to watch. Let's see, Stumble Reel, I'm here. So did you see the finale of Clone Wars? I didn't. I still got to catch up. I have not also seen it, and let's see, I had been talking about this. I don't know. I assume you probably saw me chatting a little bit about it on Twitter, of me talking about how this Ahsoka character is not a character I'm familiar with. I only watch Star Wars movies. So I didn't watch the Clone Wars cartoons. Much like everyone in the universe, I didn't watch the movie when it was in theaters. I'm not a big expanded universe guy. Um, so yeah, I'm not very familiar with her. Matter of fact, for the first couple of years, I think I was calling her Akasha. It's like, no, that's the vampire. So I know she's appearing in The Mandalorian, and she might be the character that they're producing a TV series on. So I was like, oh, okay, I probably should, bone up on this character. So I've been watching. I'm taking a long time to explain this. I'm sorry, but I watched the first Clone Wars film, and it's terrible. It's mind-numbingly boring, and it's everything I don't like about the prequels. And first couple episodes are okay. I can see them kind of developing ideas and characters, but it's still like a hard watch. It's very prequel era Star Wars, which is not my jam. And I am aware that the show got better. I even have hilariously seen a chart going, these are the good episodes. There's like 5 episodes in the first season and more in the second and third. And, it's like, I've actually considered like, okay, let me just jump. I actually did do that. I actually did jump to episode 5, which was Rookies, which was pretty good. And I like the idea of not only Ahsoka being developed as this character, as this point of view Jedi character that isn't in the movies. I like the idea of focusing on 3 clones and really investigating, like, well, they're people, right? They have like their own like personalities and thoughts and feelings, right? So that's not an idea that was explored in the original trilogy and the prequels, especially, and it has been touched on, of course, in the sequel trilogy, which they're not using clones anymore. But there's Finn is a trooper who has his own kind of story, which is a cool idea. So no, I have not seen it. I've actually considered. I've been trying to figure out, like, should I just skip to the final few episodes? I'm even thinking I'll just watch the last episode. I know how all this crap is going. So yeah, I know it involves. I think the last episode involves directly what happens when Order 66 is called, and we get to see the big turn and everyone trying to survive. I do enjoy saying that.
Yeah.
Order 66.
Big Mac and fries.
Yeah, hi, welcome to Hardee's. Do you want the new bacon value meal?
No, I'll have Order 66. So let's see. Comic Kid, hey Manos. Let's see. The second Clone Wars season. Oh yeah. I tend to not think of them in seasons. I tend to think of them as one whole thing. Is pretty good. The first one I didn't care for. The second one, that Clone Wars is great. I did watch that. I didn't watch every episode. I watched as much as I could. When it was I think it was right on the Saturday Toonami. I really enjoyed that. I love Tartakovsky's animation. I love the way he does action. One of my favorite Jedi Sith battles is in that series when Anakin fights Ventress on the hillside, and that's such a great fight. That's when I think for the longest time when I talk about Clone Wars, I've been thinking about that show, but I don't even know if that's in continuity. I mean, who cares? It's good. It's actually the only outside of the movies Star Wars I really was invested in. Because usually I don't. I usually, because when Disney bought Star Wars from Lucas, who wanted to sell, I don't know why people think that was a trick. When Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney, and Disney, one of the first things it did was, cut off the EU, I didn't care. Do you know why? Because I had a feeling that would happen from day one, because second tier canon, I think that's what they call it, is always it's it's always something you can throw away. It's never something like, you should never get too invested in second tier canon. Like if you're like reading the Star Trek comics, don't get mad if they they don't involve those, or the Buffy comics. Like, oh wait, there's this great story in the Buffy comic that they're not even talking about in this new reboot show thing or something. Like, no, you should never get invested in that stuff. It should be fun, it's a nice way to pass the time, but don't get too wrapped up in it. That's my advice. Second tier canon, don't get too excited, because it's the red shirts of fiction. It's like, we need you, we'll keep you, but if we don't, you're done. Let's see. Stumblereal says, I'm not an EU fan either. In fact, I'm not even a Star Wars fan at all. What? I just like it as an animated series. Yeah, let me tell you something. Because I know that Ahsoka is also in the Rebel show, and I remember seeing a couple episodes of that and thinking it was pretty cool. So I've actually taken advantage of Disney Plus, and like, I'm sitting back and watching the Rebel show, and I'm watching the Clone Wars show, and man, the Rebel show is so much better. I mean, it looks a little better, but that's not, you shouldn't be too like upset about that, because like it's like 10-15 years difference. So obviously the animation is going to be better, but the writing is just better. The characterization is just better. These are because like the first batch of episodes from the Clone Wars are doing that serial writing and serial acting, which is so hard to get into, and everybody's a Jedi. And it just occurred to me the other day. It's like, that's one of the things that made the prequel era so hard to really get invested in, because everyone is acting so calm, like they're in a Shyamalan film. And it's the reason Star Trek never made a Vulcan show. Like, can you imagine if Star Trek at some point, maybe in their heyday of the 90s, like, oh yeah, let's do a show with all Vulcans. That people love Vulcans. Let's just like, okay, we'll put one like normal, like human earthling dude in there, and then everyone else is a Vulcan. So we'll have like full episodes of Vulcans talking to each other. Yeah, that would not have succeeded. Except for maybe the super hardcore Trek fans that I like talk to anyway. Let's see. Where are we here? Comic Kid, technically, I don't think it's in continuity. I think it is. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. To be honest, I don't get that wrapped up in it. Mount Vernon Kid, I recommend to everyone to check out the Owl House. Yes, I'm glad you were checking it out. I absolutely love that show, and I will second that. I have been thinking about doing episodes talking about Owl House here on the channel. There are new episodes coming soon. I guess now is a good time to talk about the first 6-7 episodes. I forgot how many we got in this first batch.
I don't remember. But they're really good.
Yeah, it's great. I absolutely love the show. It's gotten into that Gravity Falls category. Well, I'll just like recommend it in general to people. Like, hey, I know you like these things. You should check out, this show. Because look, I love Steven Universe. I love DC superhero girls. I love I love Doctor Who and Star Trek, but I don't recommend that stuff to everyone, because I know, not everyone's gonna love Star Trek. Not everyone's gonna love this version of Who. But like, I can't see anybody disliking Gravity Falls. It's such a perfect show, and I'm seeing that in Owl House. So if you like fantasy, it's a really good show. Blah blah blah. Where are we here? Stumblereal. I like the blocky character designs. I feel like it's very solid, not overly squishy like Pixar characters. I assume you're talking about Clone Wars, and they are kind of blocky. When you're able to make that work as a look, and that's something clever when you're working on cheaper budget animation for television, where you got to make stuff count. And the smarter animators, the smarter producers know how to make that stuff work. And like, okay, we have some disadvantages. How do we make that work? My favorite example of this is the Bruce Timm choices on the first batch of Batman animated series, where they did like the more big stylized looking designs, which got criticized a lot when that show came out, and they animated on black paper, so they wouldn't have to paint like black all the time, and that would like cut down a lot of their time and money, which was really smart. Let's see. Where are we, Marion? Let's see. What would She-Ra from the Netflix She-Ra cartoon think of Darth Vader, especially after finding out? Well, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't be a fan. I suppose maybe she would, like, knowing her, if she had any kind of like real connection with the guy, like, do her best to, give him a chance. But if like they just met and goes, oh, you're a kind of super Nazi in a armor suit, done, you're dead. Let's see. The Clone Wars was based on the Thunder. Is that the Clone Wars look was based on the Thunderbirds puppets? Is that true? I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds right. It sounds true, because there's a lot of, but people keep forgetting about Star Wars. Is there's a lot of like influence. It's so unlike a lot of things which like put their influences right up front. It's a little bit more vague unless you're like a film nerd or a sci-fi nerd or something like that. Like I'm not talking like geek. I'm talking like annoying, no friends geek. Let's see. The Tartakovsky series also is the first appearance of General Grievous, who is not a great character. What's so annoying is I watched that first episode with him, and he is legitimately scary. I don't think you've seen that one. He's chasing this character who looks like Ahsoka. I don't know if that's her or not, but she's trying to save somebody from him, and he's chasing her, and he is cutting through like other Jedis and like clone troopers, and he's really scary and intimidating. And so I was like, oh, I can't wait to see this guy in the Revenge of the Sith. Man, this is going to be great. And he's not great. Like, he gets his ass kicked really bad. And like, he's a fool. I think he's like a complete, he's almost like a Filmation villain in the Clone Wars cartoon, the second Clone Wars cartoon. But yeah, that was kind of a disappointment. Like, oh man, I'm already see this guy in the regular movie, and he's not great. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, that was not Ahsoka. I always thought that was Ahsoka. It's that's a Star Wars name, all right. Sac-T. It's Shaak Ti. So I don't know, Sac-T.
Spell it again.
Shaak, and then her last name is Ti.
Sac-T.
Sac-T. Okay, yeah. Sac-T. Okay. Because I thought, she looks a lot like Ahsoka, so I always thought that was her. And like, I think this character gets killed in the Order 66 scene. Let's see. What cartoon I love on Netflix, as well as The Last Kids on Earth? Yes, I do know. I do know that. I'm going to take a guess. You never talk about it, but maybe it's Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts. Am I right? I don't know. Let's see. While you tell me if I'm wrong, I will. Or are you saying that is the? Oh, you know what other cartoon I saw? Oh no, I completely misread that. He said that is the other show he loves, Last Kids on Earth. I've heard some good stuff about it. I would recommend to you Kipo in the Age of Wonder Beasts. It's also a animated show about young kids, post-apocalypse. it's great. And I thought this show was going to be good from the previews and the early word of mouth, but first 2 episodes in, I was like, this is fantastic. This is actually almost so good. It almost feels like the creators are showing off like how talented they are. Like, oh, you thought that other scene was cool? Well, watch this scene where our heroes get on a giant dragonfly and be chased by a flying car through broken buildings while this awesome song is playing. Like, I feel like when I watched that scene, I was like, well, this is a great show. I don't care what the rest of the season's like. Yeah, it's on my list. Yeah, I recommend it. By the way, if you would have just listened to the soundtrack too, I mean, that is like one of the best soundtracks I've heard on an animated series in a long time. It's really good.
Any show or in a long time, not just animated.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
It's really good.
Yeah. And there's some great soundtracks out there on a lot of kids shows right now. But that one's just, God, full soundtrack is just amazing. The animation's really fluid and gorgeous. The action scenes are just, there's some really good action. Even there's some on the streaming shows and network shows, there's some really good action stuff. Even on stuff that's like supposedly goofy and stuff like that, there's some really good tight action. Gonna give Kipo a look-see tomorrow. I had no idea it even existed. Then you're going to say, well, thank you, Manos. And so I'm going to say in advance, you're welcome. I hope I'm not overselling it, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed the show a lot. And season 2 is coming up soon. Let's see. Nightwing 4077 says, thoughts on Rebecca Sugar's half joking in a recent interview that the gems are basically robots. I didn't really hear her say that, but or read that. But she's not the first person I've had to say that. There's actually a interesting YouTube video, and forgive me, I forgot the name of the YouTube creator, but he came up with one of those cool science explaining videos for the gems, and he goes, and it's basically asking, what are gems, and he breaks down on what their species probably is. And because the gems, for those of you who aren't too familiar with the show, they're not biological creatures. The gems they're basically living animated rocks, and their bodies that you see are hard light holograms and projections of who they think they are. And this video was really interesting. It was like a 20-minute video, and it goes really into like what they could be and what they couldn't. They're mineral. They're living minerals, and actually, it makes the case that they're some form of way advanced AI, which brings my theory closer to they're basically the Transformers, which, like, I will not rest until someone does a crossover. Because essentially the gems, let's see, well, the Transformers are 2 warring artificial intelligent creatures from their own planet that's a trashed up place because of their civil war. They're mostly, at least in the first generation series, they're mostly identified as male. They come to Earth to fight over resources. The gems are from a trashed planet, mostly identify as female, having a civil war. They can both transform and do combiner stuff, and they come to Earth to fight over resources. Literally, it's basically the same thing. So, so I'm just waiting for that crossover someday for somebody else to think of that. Comics Kid, well, can we expect a Michael Bay Steven universe? No. Gems, I feel weird. Steven universe, those are emotions. Let's see. Stumble Real says, I'm not much Star Wars Rebels. It seems like a hero's journey sort of thing, which I like, but I've seen a lot of. Admittedly, yes. You were not wrong. Let's see. I haven't seen before is the ensemble war drama cartoon. Well, yeah, I mean that's a legitimate choice on that. And I keep hearing Clone Wars gets better. So, I'm a huge Transformers dork. So, but Transformers, knew how to focus, and it does look like Clone Wars, the one I'm watching right now, is heading in that direction. And I know, look, the last couple of seasons, I think, the last season's on Disney Plus. So it's amazing that they went back and did one more season of the show for Disney Plus. That's a really cool idea. So I am interested in seeing how all this ends. But boy, man, if you're thinking about getting into the Clone Wars cartoon, you can skip the movie. Look, Ahsoka shows up. The end. All right, move on. It's bad. Like, I swear to God, I am already in episode 3 so sick of the battle droids. They're irritating, they're annoying, they're not funny, they're not threatening, and they're boring, and I hate them. I've just grown to hate them so bad. And I think by episode 2, I was ready to apologize to Jar Jar Binks for everything I've ever said about that fictional character. Like, you know what? No, you know what? You're at least one annoying person. Where the battle droids are an army of endless annoying people, and it's just worse. I'm gonna say that right now. The battle droids are worse than Jar Jar Binks. You won. The battle droids finally won a battle. So let's see. Okay, I haven't got a question since Comic Kid. So speaking of Star Wars, I just did a something fun. I put a post on my Facebook and Twitter, and I'm going to read that off. Speaking of Star Wars, I'm doing a lot of. Well, I mean, it is. Oh, I guess it is like Star Wars Day.
It's May 4th.
May 4th. I never get tired of that pun.
Well, tomorrow is Revenge of the 5th.
Oh no, that's right. Keep forgetting that. So actually, let's see. I did make a little ranking, and this is just basically the live action Star Wars movies, and not including the holiday special, which of course would be ahead of Attack of the Clones. But I essentially, made a list of all 11. I actually posted this afternoon. So essentially, number 11 is Attack of the Clones. It's usually the worst. Number 10 is Phantom Menace. Number 9 is Revenge of the Sith, which is the best of the prequel films. Matter of fact, I will make the argument that you don't even have to see the other two. This basically says everything it needs about the prequel trilogy in this movie. Rise of Skywalker, I think right now I kind of have it at 8. It's kind of, for me, low middle tier right now. I mean, I like the movie. I think it gets the job done. I think it could have done a lot better. It feels a little rushed, but it overall is fine. Number 7 is Solo, and the thing is, I see a lot of people finally watching it and going, you know what, that was pretty good. What was everybody bitching about? I've literally seen that every few weeks on Twitter or Facebook, of people just confused over why people are so angry about it. Number 6 is Rogue One. I think that's a great movie, legit. You can even watch that by itself without any Star Wars references. I think it's a great movie. Number 5 is Return of the Jedi. It's dumb fun. Number 4 is The Force Awakens. I really do sincerely love that film. I don't care if it copies beat by beat New Hope. I think it does it in a pretty smart way. Number 3 is Empire Strikes Back. It's a great movie. Number 2 is Last Jedi for me. I think that's probably objectively the best made of the Star Wars films. But for me, A New Hope. To me, Star Wars is A New Hope, and that's it. There's everything else veers off of A New Hope for me. So that's kind of how I feel. Let's see. Are you thinking about seeing the new Trek series? That's the Picard one, or I think Discovery's still on. I think they're both. Are they both on the CBS streaming service, because I was thinking about watching Discovery. I watched the first episode and I was fascinated by it. And then they said like, hey, continue to watch the show on CBS Plus or Prime or whatever the hell they call it. And I was like, it's okay. I don't feel like spending, whatever money for one show. And plus their other show they were selling was like the young guy from Young Sheldon show. It's like, I pay you for me not to watch it. So I don't know if the new Picard show is on this streaming service. I don't know. Let's see. I'm interested in watching both. And I've been hearing people fight about Discovery. So, I don't have like a legitimate, kind of, I guess I can hear people make arguments and you can decipher where someone's coming from in their arguments. Like if they're super mad about, lead female characters, then you probably might want to not trust their arguments very heavily. But I mean, if they like make, sincere arguments about, where the story's going or, or writing or acting, things like that. Well, I don't have any context, so I can't really defend or attack a show. Same thing with Picard. I've been hearing some pretty good things about it. So let's see. Revenge of the Sith. Comic Kid is doing his. Let's see. Revenge of the Sith and Phantom Menace sometimes switch places for me. Yeah, there are two things. They are like 1 and 2 things about the Phantom Menace I like. There's a few things I like about Phantom Menace. Like I like some of the battle stuff. I do like the Darth Maul is great. And Lucas, I don't know what he was thinking about trying to kill this character off in the first movie. What? Come on, man. Why aren't you better at Star Wars? You're the guy who made it. So, why don't you understand your thing? I have this feeling sometimes that Lucas has his understanding of what Star Wars is, and the fans have a different one. And they sometimes meet up. And they don't always. And I don't know. Because I hear him talk about, like he has been baffled for years why Boba Fett is even popular. And the older I get, the more I think, yeah, he's got a point. He does kind of suck. I love Boba Fett because I could send away for him and add him as an action figure. Mm-hmm. So you have that personal connection. But yeah, he ain't anything else besides a cool costume. He's like wanted to really push other things and they don't take off. So I don't know. It's so weird. I don't often see such a difference in what a creator likes and what the fans like. I don't know. Picard's on CBS All Access. Thank you. That's what that thing's called. I like Picard more than Discovery as a whole, but that's just me. Yeah, I've been hearing some good things about it. Solo isn't as nearly as cool as Indiana Jones. I have a theory about why, by the way, Solo did well. That was in the top 10 movies of 2018. It did well. It made its money back. It didn't make as much as some of the other Star Wars movies. And I do have a theory. I think it's because Harrison Ford isn't in it. I think they made a Han Solo film without Harrison Ford, and it doesn't matter who's playing him. By the way, I really liked Eldridge, I think his name is. That guy's really good. He was a really good choice, but he's not Harrison Ford. So, people consider that a Harrison Ford character. So I don't think a lot of people showed up for it, and that's just kind of it. But when you get a chance to sit down and watch it, it's like, oh, this is pretty good. I really did. That was as good as that movie could have been. Let's see. Who are you rooting for to win in King Kong versus Godzilla? It's Godzilla. I mean, I grew up being a big Godzilla fan, and my brother Butch, he was a huge King Kong guy, and sometimes we would disagree about who's cooler. And my brother's like, I don't know, he's like early 20s, and I'm like an 8-year-old. Yeah. And we'd be arguing about monsters. So I mean, we'd be doing it face to face instead of online like today. And yeah, I mean, look, there's no contest. Like King Kong is powerful and cool, but like he's like what, I don't know, like 30 feet tall. I mean,
Yeah.
Godzilla is like, depending on the movie, around 200 feet tall and indestructible. I mean, he takes nuclear bombs in the face.
He has like atomic fire breath, and
Yeah,
he's not just a big, strong.
he's not a big Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
And you know, and yeah. I mean, look, I like King Kong and everything, but you know, I mean, Godzilla's just better. So you know, I don't know what they're gonna do because you know, Godzilla in these movies, these American MonsterVerse movies, he's a good guy, and King Kong is also a very clear good guy. So I don't know what kind of like Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice kind of thing they're gonna have. So I assume they're gonna fight over, I don't, something. I don't something because yeah, they've been defending humanity. So I don't know. I guess somebody's gonna like, I guess, steal someone's chicken wing, and they're going, "Hey, that's my chicken wing, Godzilla." Let's see. Stumble real. Oh, hold on. You know about the DuckTales episodes airing out of order? The writer was consistently trying to post it for fuck's sakes. The show, you know, that's a thing. By the way, that's not the only time I've seen just, I'm a big cartoon dork, as you can probably tell. And a lot of shows will be aired out of order. And in the past, that wasn't a big deal. But now, you know, creators have kind of story arcs throughout the shows. So that can be irritating if you're like, oh yeah, we need to establish this here in this episode, but the network feels like they want to just put this episode here for some reason. So that's kind of, oh, excuse me. Oh, pardon me. So that's got to be frustrating, but I mean, it's not anything I haven't seen before. They're even out of order on Disney Plus. Oh, that's annoying. You know what's, I have Sling, and sometimes Sling can be troublesome for being out of order. Let's see. Also, radiation will kill Kong. Yes, I mean, it's kind of an easy fight, I think. Like, literally, the only reason King Kong even has a shot is because, you know, he's the legend and the big one, and he's from America, and, like, okay, whatever. Oh, that's it. I mean, he's maybe a pre-credits fight at best, but, or fighting while fighting the real big thing. Like, oh, hey, here's Kong. Okay, now I'll get back to the real threat. So yeah. Let's see. Comic Kid said Mothra. Why did you say that name? That's it. That will stop the fight. King Kong will invoke the name Mothra. It's like, oh, I know Mothra. That's the end of the movie. You just wrote it. We just wrote that movie. Rumor has it they're going to team up against Mechagodzilla. That's cool. I'd like that. Like, are there any real good monsters? Like, they've definitely taken the A-listers first for the last couple, for the last movie. So I don't know if we'll see, you know, some of the others. You know, there's some others. I'm a big fan of Biollante. I think that's a cool character. Now, Superman versus Godzilla, I'd see that. You know, well, hey, Godzilla has fought Thor and the Avengers, so, you know, anything's possible. That was cool. That was the days when Marvel, when they'd get a license for new comics, they would like instantly integrate them into the Marvel universe. Like, no one does that anymore because we could lose the license. I guess this was kind of new. This is the 70s and 80s when they do that. Transformers, let's have them fight Spider-Man, which happened. And they don't really do that anymore. I don't know. Marvel doesn't really, since Dark Horse became a thing, I think Dark Horse stole the whole license thing from them. But they haven't really done licensing as much. And then IDW came along, and I think IDW does licensing better than Dark Horse did, at least nowadays. Because like they've been trying to figure out how to do crossovers with them, and they've had like the Ninja Turtles meet Mulder and Scully and shit like that. So I don't know, that's kind of fun. But let's see. But yeah, that used to always happen. Like, you know, the Shogun Warriors and Godzilla would show up and fight the Avengers and Shield and stuff like that. And Rom was probably the best example of that, because that's a Parker Brothers action figure that Marvel got. And they made Rom an important part of Marvel Universe for a while, which I wish. Like, come on, guys, can you get the license back? I mean, IDW has it and Hasbro has it, so that's kind of out of the question now. But I'd really love to see that. Let's see. I think we're coming to. Let's see. Not really getting any new questions here, so I don't really know if there's anything else to really talk about, unless anybody has anything. Is there anything new? I know. Stumblewheel was saying, "Hey, let's see a film with Superman fighting any giant monster." Let's see, Surfer Levis appeals, Superman stories will that have happened? Yeah. Let's see. Marion, hey, Conan is in the Marvel Universe. Yeah, that's an interesting relationship. I've never been a Conan fan. I had never read any Conan comics. I did see the Schwarzenegger movies though, because there was a comic, so it's a comic book movie. By the way, this is how, you know, I hate to sound like an old person, but kids today are kind of spoiled when it comes to comic book movies.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely.
Like the costume doesn't look right, and they're all online for weeks bitching about it. Where like, hey, I don't know Swamp Thing, but there's a comic book and it's out. I'm gonna go see it. And you know, I would see movies just because I knew there was a comic book, and it didn't matter if I read it. It was like it's a comic book movie. Like I made Dad take me to see Swamp Thing because it was a comic book movie. I don't think. I think I bought a Swamp Thing comic sometime in the 90s, and it didn't even have. And it was even during a period where Swamp Thing wasn't even in the comic. Like it was during where Alec Holland and Swamp Thing were dead, and some other new Swamp Thing came. Like I didn't even have the real Swamp Thing in it. And then I bought the New 52 Swamp Thing, the first issue, which looked really good. I think I bought a couple issues of that. That was pretty decent. What's hilarious is Superman references dying. And then later they wrote that didn't happen, which is a good example of like, you know, how the continuity was like writers are referencing stuff that hadn't happened yet. Like could we get a meeting of what happened and not? Thoughts on Firefly from Nightwing 4077. I saw the first episode. It's really good. That's it. The end. I'm not a Firefly guy.
Oh,
we have the
I watched
box
the
set.
series. It was good.
You liked it more than I did.
I don't know. I'm not one of the bring back Firefly people because
it's been 47 years. Bring it back.
No, it was one season and it was good.
And one movie. They got a movie.
Yeah, see, one season and a movie. But move on. There's other things to watch and care about.
I know. Let's see. Did we have the box set?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have we have the series and the movie.
Yeah. I've seen an episode or two. It's pretty good. Lindsay's more of a fan than I am. Let's see. Bring back Space 1999. Yeah, damn it. It's not too late. Just because it's 21 years after the show takes place, maybe we can call it Space 2049 and all the characters are dead. But you know, that's on Shout Factory's streaming, and I have not seen that show since I was like I don't know, probably 8. Martin Lando's in that show.
Yeah.
And I don't remember a damn thing about it except the spaceships. I remember really liking the spaceships. They're kind of, I don't know, I guess they suck now, but I thought the design really was neat when I was a kid. And I think creepy stuff happened in it. Like, when, like Star Trek used to have creepy invaders or some character or something like that. I recently watched the first episode. It was pretty good. Landau was the only name I recognized. Yeah, he will be the only name you recognize. But I actually started watching. I probably should back to it. It was actually watching the original Kamen Rider. Because I know that was like Mask Rider when Saban tried to bring that over to the States, and I didn't really watch that. But I was aware of it. If you watch Fox Kids, you were aware of every Power Rangers related thing they do. It's been interesting going back because you know what? I got to tell you something. I've told Lindsay this. I'll tell you, the viewing audience. I am a sucker for like 70s stuff and specifically 70s Japanese sci-fi. I love 70s Japanese sci-fi. That is a really nice warm spot for me because that was something every once in a while I'd see a movie or some TV show or something from Japan as a kid, and I immediately found those fascinating, and I wouldn't know why. I was when I was really young, I wasn't aware of like different countries and different cultures and stuff like that. But I could immediately tell they were different than the American Western stuff I was watching. And that's because a lot of American Western stuff in the 60s, 50s and 60s and 70s, especially the 50s and 60s, like every character is like ramrod straight and don't react to shit. Like, oh, this thing ate my face off. Oh, that's too bad. Like, you can have emotions. Greatest Generation. But like Japan, there's so much more energy, and there's like quick snap zooms and really interesting camera work, and people react to stuff. Like, hey, I was riding on this motorcycle and this cute girl was going to congratulate me for winning the race, and she's like this weird like vampire thing, like ugh. Whoa, what the hell? Yeah, so I don't know. I love that stuff. It went into ridiculous stuff, and then it had like a lot more interesting ideas and a lot of energy, which really to a kid is interesting. I'm glad. I don't know. Westerners eventually caught on, but I mean, good lord, oh man, I'm just a big fan of like 70s Japanese stuff. Let's see. Saw the first 2 episodes of Japanese Spider-Man. I loved it. I have still not been able to sit down and watch Japanese Spider-Man. I really, I can't remember where it is streaming. It's not streaming on Shout Factory. It's not on Disney Plus. Come on, Disney Plus, put it on. I know everyone in the world is bitching at you about that one thing they want on your site, but put Japanese Spider-Man on. I think it was on their Marvel site for a while. I think they had it on their YouTube channel for a while. But I'd really love to see it. And it's so weird because it really, it did have a part to play in the development of Japanese sci-fi, which is kind of neat. No, good. I'm glad we helped. I saw Japanese Spider-Man on YouTube. Yeah, I think it was on YouTube. I don't know if it still is. That would be great. Let's see. Japanese and U.S. sci-fi from the 70s is just fun to watch. The Western stuff did get a little more interesting in the 70s. A lot of stuff I watched was terrible, but I loved it. And that's something I think geeks need to learn, is when they get mad about something that they grew up with and people joke on it, or a reboot comes along that's better than the other one, It's like, it's okay to love something that you grew up with that wasn't that great. It's okay to be honest with yourself. You can still love it. Like, I love the Sid Martin Croft everything when I was a kid, and all that stuff is crap. It's bad. Like Bigfoot and Wild Boy and Electra Woman. Those are terrible shows, but I love them. I will watch. You put that in front of me right now. I will watch the shit out of those things. Much to my wife's regret.
I like cheesy bad things, but I can watch maybe one.
I will not binge Electro Woman in front of you because I know that would be a hard sit. Have you heard? I heard you mention Lupin III. He is also cooler than Han Solo. Have you seen any of it? I did see. I did see the movie, The Castle.
Castle of
the Castle one.
Cagliostro?
Cagliostro, yes. And it's on Netflix. I've watched that a couple of times. And Hulu, for a while, I don't know if Hulu still has it, but they had the original series on from the late 70s. And I watched a few episodes of that. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think Cartoon Network Adult Swim showed that for a while.
Yeah, that's right.
I've seen some of that. It's really good. I'm excited about the 3D animated movie that's coming up.
Yeah,
because
whenever that's coming out.
It looks like the characters.
It looks gorgeous, and it does look like Japan is also learning at the same time that we seem to be learning. Like 3D characters don't have to look like crap. You can actually kind of make them as expressive as 2D characters.
Yes.
There is, I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if I showed you this, but the new DuckTales does references to Lupin III. The new episode, the Astro Boyd episode, takes place in Japan, and apparently there's some references to lots of Japan stuff, including Lupin.
Neat.
Because the creators of that show are amazing. Let's see. The Castle film is the second Miyazaki film. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that was the second. And congrats on 12 years. Oh, thank you, Arthur. It's nice to have you on the show. Yeah, I just decided. Here's the thing. I knew my anniversary of the channel is in May, and I completely forgot it was on the 4th. I always think it's after my birthday. I always think it's in the middle of the month, like on 14th or something like that. And then I looked yesterday. I was like, oh shit, it's the 4th, not 14th. I wasn't sure what to do. 12 is a more interesting number than 11, so I was like, I should do something. So decided the cheapest and easiest thing to do was to do a live show and just talk to you guys. Let's see, where are we? We're almost at midnight. I'm probably going to cut this down at midnight. I should do more live shows. Let's see. They never should have stopped making movies. Yeah, I agree. We'll see how this new film comes along. See if that gets people excited about it again. Yeah, I want to thank you for watching. There's some people I know have been watching the channel for years and years, and I want to thank your support. The channel has gone up and down on view counts and subscribers, and I've actually been stuck in basically the same number for the last 3 years in the sub count. And I can't figure out how to usually that's the thing I don't care about. Like, hey, people watch, people don't watch, whatever. But, being in the same kind of plateaued subscriber count is, I don't know, kind of like gotten boring. So I was like, hey, let's kind of move forward. And it's probably my fault. Not everybody wants to talk about the same stuff I talk about. And also, I lost partnership with YouTube a while back. So, I mean, they don't care about that. But I want to thank you for sticking around and watching. And I know it's a tough time going through this coronavirus outbreak and quarantine. And, I want to continue to do my best to make interesting videos for you guys. out there and talk about stuff. And look, we are going to get through this. It's, I don't know when, but we are going to get to the other side of this, and we're going to do it together because we're going to keep our heads. Okay. And let's just remember, the good times that we've had, have now, and will have in the future. And you should probably be able to do this. Mary says, enjoyed it as always. Congrats on 12 years. Thank you very much. I have a couple of videos coming up. I have a review of Shadow the Batgirl, a Cassandra Cain graphic novel. I'm posting that on Wednesday. And on Friday, I'm doing a review of Menace Returns. And the original creators, except for Harold P. Warren, because he's dead, the original creators of Menace got together and made a sequel. And I am doing a review for it. I'll be doing a review on Friday about the film. And I can't wait to talk about that. It's on, if you want to watch it, it's on Amazon Prime. And spoiler alert, it's pretty good. So it's definitely worth your time. If it's only over an hour, so it's not too long. So it's definitely worth checking out, especially if you've seen the original movie like 87,000 times, like I have. It's definitely a hoot. But I'll be doing a review this Friday. I'm also doing a Amazing Spider-Man 200 review, which I'm scripting and is taking way too long to write because quarantine me writes slower than I need to. So I think that's it. Like I just said, thank you for joining us. And in the words of one of my heroes, Dr. Madblood, thank you for turning us on for 12 years. And I will continue to do my best to put out stuff. Steven Universe is over. I'll probably maybe talk about Steven here and there, but I will be talking more about comic books, Mystery Science Theater, and of course about comic writing. I'll do more videos about that. I have one I want to do sometime this month about writing characters and creating characters. So I think that's it. I'm going to push the button, and you guys have a good night.
Good night.
Lindsay says good night. You guys take care.